Alright, what's up everybody? Back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today we are previewing another second round series. This one between the Celtics and Sixers that starts tonight. Very excited for it. We're going to be previewing that. We previewed the Nuggets and Suns and the Heat and Knicks, and those two have already played a game. And then we're going to have another preview of the Warriors Lakers because they play tomorrow. Very excited for the second round to start. Very yeah, love it. Thank you guys for the views on the vids and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you like the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, also like that. I really appreciate it. It helps out a lot. And yeah, I'm also at Twitter, Everyday Hoops 10. We got this, we got a look-in series, we got a lot of stuff going on. And so yeah, let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. The Celtics and Sixers will meet up in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. To get here, the Sixers, they swept the Nets, the only team to not lose a game yet in the playoffs, swept through Brooklyn, while the Celtics got a little bit more competitive. They won in 6 on the Atlanta Hawks. The big thing for the 76ers, Joel Embiid, most likely will not be playing in Game 1 and potentially Game 2. They don't know his situation completely yet. It came out originally as an LCL sprain, but then it might be a little bit more than that. So we don't know 100% sure if he's even going to play at all in this series, to be honest. Which is very tough because this was a big year for the 76ers, especially with the Milwaukee Bucks out. Sixers have a real chance if they can win this series against Boston to really go to the finals, potentially. But without Joel Embiid, it's going to be really tough against this tough Boston Celtics team. I want to get into both of these teams really quick. The 76ers, of course, are not going to have Joel Embiid, which is a big thing. And they don't know specifically when he's going to be able to come back. So James Harden needs to be huge in this series. If the Sixers want any shot of competing without Joel Embiid, James Harden has to be great. And even in the Brooklyn series, you saw some things where it was like, all right, he's trying, but it's not really James Harden that we know he can be. And now without Joel Embiid, he's gonna have to be even more than that. If James Harden was playing like first round James Harden with Joel Embiid in this round, it was gonna be really tough for Philly to win. But now James Harden needs to be something incredible for the Sixers to have a chance. And we honestly don't know if he still has that anymore. If he still has those big outings anymore left in him, we got to see. It's going to be very tough, especially with the defenders. They're going to throw at him probably Derek White, Marcus Smart, definitely going to get thrown at him, Jaylen Brown, potentially, maybe in late game scenarios. And then even going to the rim, you got guys like Al Horford, Robert Williams that can make a difference. It's going to be very tough for James Harden to get shots off, but he's going to have to lock into his 2018, 2017 bag if he has anything left in it. And Tyrese Maxey is going to be huge as well. Tyrese Maxey needs to have big performances. Tyrese Maxey was kind of the savior for the Sixers in the first round. Like, if he didn't show off the 3 games that he did, Sixers would have had a lot of trouble in that series. So Tyrese needs to be huge. And then Tobias Harris, love what he's been doing this entire season, but now Tobias Harris needs to take another step up. Everyone on the Sixers team needs to take a big step up if they want a chance to beat the Boston Celtics. Everybody, Harden, Maxey, Tobias, even the guys off the bench like McDaniels and Yang, they need to make a huge step up, need to make shots, and need to play really good defense, which is going to be a very tough task, especially with this Boston Celtic defense they're about to play, because it is very tough. Celtics have like probably 5-6 defenders that can be like the best defenders on other teams, so it's going to be very tough. For the Celtics, I want to see a lot more consistency. I feel like the reason why the Celtics were in that series with the Hawks so long is because they just kind of weren't consistent. They kind of fell apart on certain things on offense and defense. You know, they're a team that really relies on the 3 ball, which I'm not a huge fan of teams that really rely on the 3 ball. But for them, they have the Jays, Tatum and Brown, that can go get a bucket, which is different from usually the other teams that rely on the 3 ball. But I'm still Celtics are still a very good team, but it's just I'm not a huge fan of teams and really confident teams that rely on the 3 ball, you know? So hopefully Celtics can start hitting those shots and be a lot more consistent. Without Joel, going to be a lot kind of easier, but they still have to lock in and see that, you know, James Harden, if they can, I think, stop James Harden and throw all the defense at James Harden, I think it'll be good, especially with Joel Embiid not playing as hard and now needs to be the focal point of the offense, not even getting his but also getting those 10, 11 assists. And so I think if the Celtics can really lock in on James Harden and kind of shut him out, I think Celtics can easily win this series without Joel Embiid. And it really sucks, because I made a video near the end of the regular season of like, we need a Celtics versus Sixers series now. And now we're going to get it, but not a full 100% because Joel Embiid, even when he does come back, Joel's not going to be fully 100% healthy, which is going to really, really suck and maybe make this series a lot worse, or not as fun as I think it could have been with both these teams at full strength, especially with the two teams showing a little bit of weakness, I would say, in the first time. Like, Sixers swept the Nets, but it wasn't like a convincing big sweep. You know, the Nets were still in letty games. The Sixers looked bad at some points. The Celtics, again, they kind of made the Hawks stick around a lot more. The Hawks were a lot more competitive than it should have been. The Celtics should have swept the Hawks, to be honest. That's what I thought was going to happen. But that didn't, of course, that didn't happen. But I'm still very excited to see both these things. For the Sixers, the X factor is if Joel Embiid is going to be coming back or not. But if not, it's going to be James Harden. James Harden needs to be there. James Harden needs to be James Harden. You know, he can't just be sitting back and lay back and let everyone. James Harden needs to be aggressive. James Harden needs to score and facilitate for everyone. He needs to be a star, really, for the Sixers. They want to win this series. James Harden needs to be a star. And for the Celtics, their X factor is their perimeter defense. Now with Joel Embiid not there, that's leaving a big hole in the middle. I think the perimeter defense, they can lock in on James Harden and Tyrese Maxey and stop those two from having huge 30, 40-point games or something like that. I think Celtics would be really fine in this series. But also on offense, they got to knock down the three ball a lot more consistently and be a lot more consistent on offense. But I think their defense is the big X factor, their perimeter D. And I think if they can lock that down, they can easily get out of this series. My prediction for this series is I have the Celtics in 5 or 6. I'll say 6. If Joel does come back, I would say 6. But if Joel doesn't play in this series, I would go 5. I think the Celtics are too reliant on the 3. That's like there's going to be one game where the Celtics, miss some threes or shoot bad from 3. Tatum and Brown have a bad shooting day. Then maybe James Harden and Tyrese Maxey have big games. I think there's going to be one game like that. But I just think the Celtics, without Joel, the Sixers are really, really, really going to struggle at a lot of points in this series. If they're struggling with the Nets with Joel, imagine what they're going to do with the Celtics without Joel. It's going to be very, very tough. So I got the Celtics winning this series. Just really sucks that we could have gotten a lot better of a series than we're actually maybe going to get. And hopefully Joel comes back early. Hopefully Joel maybe comes back game 3. It makes this a little bit more interesting. But it's very, very tough. Yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you like the content, consider subscribing, turn on notifications, also like that. Really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.